Hi, this is C.J. Rhodes, pastor of Mount Helm Baptist Church, and this is live at church.com. Well, I'm probably one of those odd persons who a lot of people say, well, you're really smart, but you have all these weird experiences. The Lord has blessed me to experience Him in a very profound way, and I think part of my soul searching had a lot to do with, as they say, have a religion I could feel sometimes. So at age 17, God radically shook my life, and ever since then, there have been moments where I've had dreams and visions that come to pass, where I have seen people's lives radically changed. And all along those moments, I've noticed that it's really the Lord at work. You can't explain it through science, you can't explain it through textbook. You know that this is a supernatural move of God, and that's especially important to me in settings where you don't think that happens, like a traditional Baptist church. And I have testimony after testimony of people experiencing that to the Lord's favor, and I'm just glad to be a part of that. Mount Helm, as the oldest and first African-American church in Jackson, has a storied and rich history. We think about Jackson State University, the Church of God in Christ, the Church of Christ Holiness, education, missions around the world and around the state. Mount Helm's name is at the center of a lot of that. I was called to pastor Mount Helm in April 2010. As a lot of young pastors, we come in very naive. We think if we just preach and pray, the people will produce. One of the things you recognize is that there's a journey of trust. I heard someone say once that relationships move at the speed of trust. And so it took a number of years for them to trust me and for me to trust them. But through a faithful, loving, passionate context of pastor and people, we've really seen God produce a lot of fruit over these last 7 years. What has blessed me is perspective. When I talk to people who've been members of the church for 50 years, when I talk to pastors in the community that have been around 30 or 40 years, they can see how fast the church has moved in ways I can't see, right? Because I'm like, man, we got to go further, faster. And they'll say to me, man, we've done so much in a fraction of the time. And so that gives me hope. That gives me a sense of resilience that thankfully, by God's grace, things are happening that not only bless our church, but our church is able to bless the community as a result. St. Francis of Assisi once noted that you must preach the gospel at all times and with words if necessary. Our lives have to preach. When we're on our jobs, in our families, we've got to demonstrate that God has made a change in our lives. And I think when people in the city of Jackson say, what's the church doing? Or why do I need God or the gospel? The best apologetic for that is a changed life. Let me tell you how God has rescued my marriage. Let me tell you how God has rescued my life. Let me tell you how God has rescued my business. And when people can see tangible evidence and taste tangible fruit of what the gospel has done in their lives, they'll come to Jesus in a very profound way. And I believe that God is doing that through Mount Helm, through other churches in the city of Jackson. And my deepest prayer is that God would indeed reward this with a revival for the church, for the city of Jackson, like we've never seen before. And I believe by faith He's going to do it, and do it very soon.